What the fuck is going on, man? So this Doug Ford comes up with a Notwithstanding Clause. And all the freaking conservatives are going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they don't have a fucking clue. They never read the judge's decision against him. The judge never ruled against his right to shrink the size of the city council. He just questioned whether they should do it within the election period. And that doing it in the election period, that violated people's civil rights. And it was a totally logical explanation if they would have read the decision. It wasn't ruling against downsizing, it was ruling against doing the way he did it. But conservatives, being uneducated as they are, or their selective education, they only hear what they want to hear because it suits their little pocketbook. They'd sell out Canada for next to nothing if they could. I've got no respect for conservatives anymore. I used to like conservatives because I used to be a member of the Conservative Party at one time because at least I respected their honesty and their ethics. But I don't recognize these guys. Not at all. And they don't realize that, if you read the friggin' decision, read it. Oh, here he goes, going south. And they we're bringing all the kids down south to the big hurricane country. Ooh. So, you geese interrupted my thought pattern. So, those conservatives don't realize just exactly what happened. And Trudeau, I like Trudeau, but when it was time for him to step up and fight for the rights of Canadians, it isn't the rights of just Toronto. The ruling was in an election, not over a very trivial matter, by the way. Because part of the judgment was the judge did ask the question, what justification do you do for, what efficiencies are there going to be if you downsize? They couldn't answer. Why must you have it so urgently? Why can't you wait for the next time? They couldn't answer. So the judge in a little paragraph, that's one word, clause, says, crickets. That's all he heard. Fucking nothing. And people don't read that. They just read, oh, well, it was trampled on our right and I'm democratic. But nobody interfered in his fucking election. They should have. Well, actually, they did. The Conservatives betrayed Patrick Brown. What a bunch of... So they got power, and they don't understand that people voted against Wynne. They didn't necessarily vote for Ford. And Horvath has got to go. Seriously, or just got to go. She takes no responsibility or ownership for the losses in the last 3 elections, and she should have won every single one of them. But she didn't. For some strange reason, they don't like her. And I don't think... She acts like a matron. That's the problem. But nobody wants to be mothered. That's Wynne's biggest problem. The women who succeed in politics aren't preachy. They don't do that. They ignore the facts and just go on and push on. You don't mess with them. But these women, they just, oh, we know best because we're the government. Yeah, we know best because we're the government. Oh, dear, 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 dear. So, but the conservatives don't realize that if Sligo is going to apply the Notwithstanding Clause in every freaking single bill from now on, he's deliberately ignoring the rule, the participation of judges in our democracy. They defend the people's rights, and he accused them of being liberal. So what? I found that most Canadian judges, as soon as they As soon as they take on those robes, for some strange reason, a Canadian judge will be bloody impartial. You wouldn't recognize them. Like the judges that Harper picked, voted against, sometimes so opinionated as they launched opinions against him. But I gotta say, what the only good thing about Harper is he obeyed. He respected the rule of a judge. He tried to get around it. He tried to fix it up. But that's what you're supposed to do. If something's wrong with a bill or something's wrong with the law, you fix it. Not Doug Ford. He just bulled ahead. Won his court day of court. This might actually be a good thing for all Canadians, because it might let the other premiers know that there's a problem with the Notwithstanding Clause, that there should have been, notwithstanding, subject to judicial review, of course, as to whether or not the issue was extraordinary. Now, see, I told people that if you brought that up in front of the court, see, there's two things to constitutional law, especially in the States. One is the actual written, and the other thing is use. In 30 years, the use and agreement of every politician has been that its use was only to be used in case of extraordinary measures like a revolt, armed insurrection, where you might have to eliminate the rights of some soldiers of the revolution, or terrorists as they call them, and put them in jail for longer than constitutionally you would otherwise. That's an extraordinary use. No, he did it to interfere in an election that he didn't like was going to go. So we got a big mess, because that guy doesn't know what law means. And he's stupid. This is what gets me, and they're following him. I noticed that I wrote to every Conservative council, and I told them what I thought. And at least it came down to a free vote. Now, the Trudeau said to all the MPPs, that Conservatives included, to vote against it. But Conservatives are the modern Conservatives, I don't know what's wrong with their fucking psyche. They used to be the party of ethics. They used to be the party of morality. I used to hate them for that, because they got the heart of a pirate, right? I mean, if this was the 17th century, I'd be on with Blackbeard or Henry Morgan or something. That's serious. Oh, yeah. Because my first job was a bit of a pirate. And I enjoyed it immensely. If you're a courier, you're not doing illegal things to do your job, but you just cheated. You go across property you're not supposed to be on. You go against doors, you go in behind doors and open up doors just to get the friggin' signature done. You're doing it for a good cause, but it's still extraordinary measures. And I'm sorry that the Conservatives are going to get that if they allow it, it's going to bite them. Because he's going to attach the Notwithstanding Clause to every freaking bill that comes out of that Parliament in Ontario. And that is misuse of that clause. And I hope people start to see that. Because technically they don't realize he can sell all of Toronto community housing. He can write a bill to evict them all, because you can't sell a full building without evicting the people first. And he could do that. He could sell it off for billions and save the taxpayer money that way and downsize government instantly. And they're poor people. What are they going to do? I mean, he doesn't care about poor people. He's not a man of the people. Rob was. And people make that mistake. They look at Doug and say, well, he's like Rob. No, he isn't like Rob. He robbed Rob's legacy to his wife and kids. He was supposed to be a trustee, and he broke his fucking oath as a trustee. He is a bad, evil man. If my brother gave me the rights to executive will, he puts down what he wants, and I would follow it to the letter. Not that I'd want to, but that is what a trustee does. And he took that on as an estate trustee. And he stole his brother's, gave it all to Randy. So what are you going to do? It's going to bite the Conservatives, and I'm going to make damn sure we got 3 years, 9 months to go. 3 years, 9 months to go. Count it down.